Welcome, music enthusiasts. Strap yourselves in for a captivating journey into the heartbeat of the rap industry, where the rhythm of success echoes not only through Lil Durk's verses, but also in the untold story of his legendary father, Big Durk. Lil Durk, a maestro in the rap business, has been orchestrating his rise for nearly a decade. However, the symphony of his success finds its roots in the life and trials of a man who navigated the tumultuous beats of Chicago's rough streets, none other than that enigmatic Big Durk. In this video, we unravel the intricate narrative of Big Durk's life, from the mean streets of Chicago to the echoes of his incarceration and the resounding notes of redemption that followed. Get ready for an in-depth exploration of the fascinating story that laid the foundation for the Durk legacy. Early life in Inglewood. It is said that Lil Durk and his father both come from the Inglewood neighborhood on the south side of Chicago. Big Durk, whose real name is Dante Banks, had a hard childhood because his mother was addicted to drugs and they moved around a lot. Even though Inglewood was hard, it had a fascinating street life that young Dante will never forget. The rise of Big Durk. Big Durk changed from Dante Banks to Big Durk because he had to take on too many tasks at once while running the household. Because he didn't have many options, he turned to selling drugs when he was 13 or 14 years old to make money and get by in Inglewood, which is a tough place to live. Gang involvement. Big Durk first learned about the complicated web of gang culture in high school. Even though most of the students at the school were black disciples, Big Durk joined the deeds because he was connected with them through his neighborhood. His participation on the street grew stronger, creating a group that was respected in the neighborhood. Association with Larry Hoover. Because Big Durk was well known and influential in the neighborhood, he was in charge of making all the decisions. His relationship with Larry Hoover, the founder of the Gangster Disciples, gave his drug business new life by giving it organization and people to work on it. Meetings with Hoover strengthened their bond and made Big Durk's place in the gang's hierarchy clear. Downfall and imprisonment. Even though Big Durk's business seemed to be completely safe, he ran into problems that led to dangerous encounters with the police. At the same time that crack dealers were being targeted more closely, a territorial dispute between Bede and Jeeds turned into a violent fight. All of these things came together in 1994 to get Big Durk arrested, put on trial, and given a life sentence for running a major cocaine delivery ring, refusal to cooperate. The harshness of Big Durk's sentence was partly due to his stubborn failure to help the prosecution and testify against Larry Hoover during his trial. In the early 1990s, crack cocaine crimes were punished harshly by strict laws that showed how serious people were about drug crimes at the time. Lil Durk later admitted that his father was always loyal and praised him for it. Life in prison and getting out. A strong bond was kept between Big Durk and his children while he was in prison. He gave his son, Lil Durk, advice, telling him to avoid the mistakes that got him locked up, even though they lived in different places. Big Durk changed over time. He became more religious and isolated himself from the gang atmosphere that had led to his arrest. Second, chance at life. Big Durk's good behavior and personal growth reached a peak in 2019 when he was released from jail after an appeal was accepted. The world saw Big Durk's happy reunion with his kids, including Lil Durk, a successful rapper. Lil Durk, who became famous while his father was in jail, welcomed Big Durk back to a world that was very different from the one he had left behind. They had been apart for years, but the emotional reunion marked the end of that time and the start of a shared heritage. The story is about more than just that. Problems a father and son have getting around Chicago's mean streets. It shows themes of strength, redemption, and the strong bond between generations who have to deal with the harsh facts of the justice system. After he got out of prison, Big Durk decided to change his life. He became a life coach for Chicago, CRED, a nonprofit that works to reduce gun crime through outreach, counseling, and mentoring. His second chance at life turned into a way to teach younger people what he had learned on the streets so they could live a better life. What Big Durk's story says about his life shows how hard it is to grow up in a crazy place like Chicago. It shows how people, even those with the best intentions, can get caught up in the web of street life, showing both how appealing and dangerous it is. In talks and through his music, Lil Durk has talked about how much he admires his father's strength and dedication to his beliefs. Lil Durk's decision to stay loyal to his friends, even though he knew he would face a harsh prison term, changed the way he lived his life and treated others. Big Durk had to deal with the results of his actions But his son Lil Durk rose from the streets to become a major player in the music business. The Durk family went through a big change when they moved from the streets of Chicago to the glitzy world of hip-hop. Big Durk's release is a sign of hope because it shows that redemption and good change are possible even when the odds seem impossible to overcome. People told stories about him to show how the human spirit can grow and change. The story also shows how policies and sentencing worked in the 1990s when mandatory minimums for crack cocaine crimes led to sentences that were too harsh for most people. Big Durk's case, like many others during that time, makes people wonder how the justice system handles drug crimes that aren't dangerous. Big Durk's story is a complex one that includes the difficulties of life on the streets, the effects of the justice system, and the healing power of second chances. This story of Big Durk's life takes us from the streets of Inglewood to the highest levels of a dangerous gang. It's a story of strength and change. The reunion between the father and son not only marks the end of an episode, but it also shows how strong family bonds can be, even when things go wrong. Big Durk's influence went beyond the streets. He helped make the neighborhood a better place by changing the course of his son's life. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from me, again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go. Thanks for watching.